And hello there, my beautiful internet and you amazing creatures of the beyond. We are going to make our very first colony today. But before we do that, first let's see how we can make a colony. So I'm still in my main system, um, which is in Corvus, where Changala is, and Asharu. And then we have this Garnier, which we destroyed accidentally because we raided too many times. But to be well, first I bombarded them, then I raided them, and yeah, they collapsed. So we can collapse civilizations and take entire sectors if we really want to. And the ruins they leave behind gives us some goodies. But as I said, if we do that, we're going to have a lot of issues later on. Although, look at this beautiful system. It has so many good things in here. And we can colonize everything. Well, almost everything. But you get the idea. Anyway, so if we're going to consider Garnier, which we won't colonize here because I'll show you why in a moment. So if we establish a colony, it says you have fully surveyed data for Garnier, but not the resources that would allow you to establish a colony here. This star system is claimed by hegemony, and a colony established here would likely be eradicated in short order. Yeah, of course, they would send all of their armies and just make us cry. Garnier, uh, this sounds like Garnier. Garnier has a hazard rating of 200%. The upkeep costs of any industries and structures built here will be increased by that percentage, so we have to keep this in mind. A colony will allow for the exploitation of planet-side resources and can eventually grow into a major population center. A colony established here would have an accessibility of 92%, assuming a spaceport was constructed. So 43% proximity to other colonies, 60% spaceport, minus percent hostilities with other faction. Shipping limits per commodity, 14 units in faction, 9 units and from other faction, whatever. Accessibility can be influenced by structures, a colony's free port status, and other factors. So we need 1,000 individual crew, then 100 heavy machines, which will be consumed, and 200 supplies. So, knowing all that, we are going to colonize this system, Leng, the yellow star system. So it's 8.8 light years away. It's very close in terms of distance. We just need to travel there in 6.7 days, which is not far. And if we look at Leng, sorry, we will notice a few things. We have this beautiful planet which have stellar mirror beta, which improves with protecting from the sun and with energy and stuff. Stellar shade psi. So this is the first planet that we're going to colonize. It's a really good planet because it gives us. We have even vast ruins here, adequate farmland. It's not extraordinary, but it's perfect, and it's 125% hazard. And then we have to deal with this common organics. This is very useful for us in the beginning. So the cold is gonna be a bit of an issue, but we can fix this if we want to, and the hazard rating of habitable, whatever. And then we have the civilized, but the civilized is not an issue. Then the next one is gonna be this gas giant because it has abundant volatiles. And then we're gonna go for this is having a hazard rating of 225, but we'll have to manage with that. We probably we're gonna go to reduce the extreme heat. I don't know about low gravity if we can do something about that, and either this, but probably this will be sorted out. We have some items to counter some of these effects. We shall see, but it has like rich deposits which are super amazing. So in order to do that, oh, and I have 5.7 million now, which is pocket change for us because these colonies will eat a lot of credits at the beginning. We also have 16 points because I've used it like candy on my other ships. So, if we're gonna look at the inventory now, look at these beauties. I got a Doom. I've been doing some. Well, actually, this one I found in poor condition, but I restored it. Then I got myself this Dominator, which is from the what's it from the 14th Battalion battle group, which gives us some really cool stuff. I mean, it's a little bit better than the normal one. And I also got this one. That's the nice variant. What else? What else? One of these. They're more like trophies. I'm not gonna. So I have gathered. These are cruise ships, and they can carry us the crew that we need. They can carry up to almost 2,000 crew, which is more than enough with one ship. But if we want to carry all of the ships there, it's okay. And we have 5 of these beauties. And I've been lucky enough, so I've gathered more of these, but these are not important as much as this 5. Because with this 5, I have managed to gather, so each covers 200 mercenaries when they deploy in a raid. So having 5, I can deploy 1,000 mercenaries. With that in mind, all I have done was to go here in Nomios, and when I raided their spaceport, they started selling their organs for the black market very, very cheap and in big abundance. In abundance, sorry. And so I sold them for a hefty price. Then I've continued doing all of the things for the recreational drugs here and there. And then for the blueprints and stuff, one way to do it is to raid um, factions actually, which have I forgot how they're called, an orbital works. If they have orbital works, that means you can go into trading mode, and when you're selecting from the items, you will see that they have the blueprints there. So I got like between 1 and 2 blueprints every time I read it. Well, I save scanned, so every time I reload it to get the blueprints I wanted. I know it's a bit cheesy, but still, it's very expensive to raid like that because I was sending all of these ships and with 1,000. Well, actually, I sent more with normal ones because I had to be 1,600 or something like that mercenaries, and I was losing 600 mercenaries per raid, so it's expensive, but well worth it. So I got some very important blueprints. Let's look at the blueprints. So we got this. We have the Paragon, but the Paragon I found in space. The Pegasus as well. But for the face ships. Oh, and I got a carrier, the Astral, and the Legion, but we don't like we don't like the Legion. The Legion is like meh. Um, we got these cool things, but we don't care all that much. So for the face ships, I got the Doom, the Harbinger, and the Afflictor, which were the most important one, and the Shade. The Shade is also cool. The rest, also, another thing to keep in mind, and this I didn't know from the beginning. Let me see. Where are the cargo ships? This cargo ship. This cargo ship is from the pirate faction, but the cool thing is that they have the ability to shield cargo holds, which means that other factions cannot scan if you're carrying illegal goods in them. So that's really cool. Okay, let's see what else. I've got a lot of these tiny ships. We'll need them later. I also got this Tears of Lud. It's a very powerful ship. It's basically like a floating space station. It can endure a lot of damage. And basically, you can make you don't even need to give it weapons. You can just make it really strong and just let them attack like crazy, and while they're distracted with this animal, you can send other ships. And I've collected some AI ships as well. Uh, they're looking in very poor condition. Oh, I have one more of this. I forgot about it. But they can be reconstructed. That's not a problem, although not necessary all that much. Because we're just gonna focus only on only one AI ship. These are just mostly for show. You can play with them if you want to be to role play as the AI or something like that to found your empire. But I don't know. I find these ships subpar and they're difficult to replace and you cannot construct them. They're good for support. Let's just say they're good for support if you're gonna bring them in. These ones I recommend you don't use the. These are the drones, while these ones are drone ships, cruiser. These are from the remnants. So this is after the second AI war, and these are after the first AI war. So they're not that extraordinary, although they can prove to be efficient in great numbers. But that is if you want to throw them at whatever or at smaller fleets that you want to engage. Yeah. What else? We have a lot and a lot and a lot of resources. So I've gotten 70,000 of this. We'll use it later probably. This we're gonna sell, although we can still maybe produce it or sell it. I don't know. We're gonna put all of this in our colony to sustain it, especially the food. And this means that our colony is going to be self-sufficient for a while, doesn't need to buy resources. Transplutonic ore, well, that we can produce later on. But this is for the heavy industry, so right now we don't have to bother that much with these. We have lots of weapons, but these are for our personal use. And then we have these beauties. Why do I still have this? Have to sell it. So this is going to counter extreme cold, poor lighting and darkness, increase heat for non-cold planets, but it demands 10 units of volatiles. So we'll have to colonize that gas giant to cover the necessity for the volatiles, so we don't buy them. But we'll do this a bit later. Then we have this needs 10 units of transplutonics, and it increases our colony by 1 when in demand. Okay. We have a lot of corrupt nanoforges. And nanoforges are interesting, but I want to see for a pristine nanoforge. And in order to get a pristine nanoforge, you have to speak with the librarian. You find him randomly in stations, in bars, and you have to finance him twice with some credits. And it's not expensive. It's like the first time you pay to 20,000 and the second time 50,000. So it's nothing. And then he starts giving you better recommendations where to find rare stuff. And sometimes when you meet him, he will tell you where to find that pristine nanoforge, but you have to be patient. Also, he's very good at giving you the backstory of the entire core systems and what happened in the AI wars, what happened with Andrada, how he took out Captain Loki. Loki or Lore? I forgot what his name. Well, he was like the big captain of the pirates. Anyway, so he also turned against the hegemony and started the Sinjan Diktat. So it's a very complex and really cool lore to read through his eyes because he's explaining tiny bits about what's going on with current events and past events. So it's a really good approach to get enriched in the world that you explore. This one gives us 3 units, plus 3 units. This one's give us transplutonic ore, normal ore, organics production by 3, depending where we set it up. This goes for fuel production. This goes for refining production by 3 units. This increases our industry production by 2, light industry. This one increase volatile production, so this will have to set on the gas giant. This one is for defense, and this one is for economy. Oops, I press. So, let me sell this. Oh, come on. Pum, pum, pum. Sell, sell, sell. We've been selling a lot of this stuff, especially these things, which are like 50k. 60k is when it's in the inventory or whatever. Also, keep in mind that if you're gonna sell these things here, all of these blueprints don't go to the faction you're selling in the black market. They're going directly to the pirates. So this helps the pirates improve their fleets later on. And I've read somewhere that you can sort of stop the raiding of the pirates if you. Well, we shall see after we finish the main quest. Um, but then I wanted to highlight another important thing about where we're going, because we also have in this sector a gate which is inactive, but this will come in handy later. Then we also have this nav buoy, and we can add an additional array here. And if we go into the sun with an AI core, we can create an additional stable location, and we can build that other thing. I forgot what's the name of it. Maybe it's in the system. The relay, the buoy, and the sensor array. So if we have this free, and probably we're going to make a makeshift because I don't think we can have a dominion unless there is a dominion there. Whatever. That's irrelevant. A dominion, a domain. Okay, so let's get our things in order. First of all, we are going to take one of these. Actually, take two. Let's take them all. I am going to take one of these. Actually, let's try to take as much as possible in terms of cargo. How much cargo does this offer? 300. Well, I don't know. And this one? 600, 900. Okay, I'm gonna take you as well. And then we're gonna take all of you. Well, I don't need all of you, but I'm just taking, well, no. Let's take 1,000. No, we need more. Okay, I think that's enough. So now we need to take something like food. Oh my god, we can't even take all of the food. I'm gonna take like around 2,000 food. Oops, not you. We're gonna take around 1,000 of these, or 2,000. 2,000 of these. I don't know if we need some of this, but I'm taking 2,000. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take 2,000 of this. 2,000 of this. 2,000. Well, maybe 1,000 of this for now. I think we can take all of this. 2,000 of this. And Let's take all of this. What else? What else? We definitely need all the fuel we can get. Oh, and we need some of this. Let's take this. What else can I take from here? I think that's enough for now. I'm gonna take them all with me. Or is it wise? What if the colony gets destroyed? Do I lose this? Maybe I should be smart. Let's not take everything. We don't need it. So I'm gonna put probably a corrupted nanoforge. And probably one of this. I don't know. I think there is a limit how much we can put in a colony. But oops. I'm gonna take one of this. I'm gonna leave you. Increase light industry. We might want you there. Increase refined production. Not yet. Transplutonics, organics. Well, I'm gonna keep you separate because I only have one of you. Fuel production, we're not doing that. I'm gonna probably take one of you. And well, not yet. So you, and you. And increase light industry production. We might do light industry, but we shall see. So I think this should be our start. Confirm. Do I have everything? Let me make sure I keep everything in order. We're gonna save. And off we go to our first colony. We're gonna have to babysit it a while to protect it from pirate raids. And I think the pirates are not gonna attack us, but we shall see. Because I have developed maximum. Where is it? We're at the max with the pirates, so we're goody goody. But still, they're gonna prove deficient later on. I don't know about the Ludic Pass. There's no way to stop their cells, from what I know, and we're just gonna have to destroy their things. There's really, I don't see a benefit to ally with this, and it's very difficult to raise the reputation with them. Chitakion, maybe I'll fix the reputation. But still, right now they're very good for attacking and getting really good ships. Although we can construct our own ships from now on, so we don't need to do that. So we shall see. We don't need to identify ourselves through the space. Oh, oh, it's low. At least it's low. Whew. Okay. So we don't have a space station that produces them here. That's good. Huh. So let's read a bit what these do. So the stellar shield Psi, an ultralight orbital shade array used to deflect and collect solar energy. Stellar shades are a common terraforming tool, and uh, the uh, the art of their use was brought to apogee by the Eridani Utopia Terraforming Corporation during the golden age of the domain's expanse phase. While this one, stellar mirror gamma, an ultralight orbital mirror array used to reflect and concentrate solar energy. Stellar mirrors are a common terraforming tool and are the same question. Okie dokie. So they're helping our beautiful planets. Your fleet approaches Zakalvi. Zakalvi. You have full survey data for this planet. The ruins of the surface of Zalkavi have been stripped of anything easily accessible, and further exploration requires a permanent presence. Okay, that's important. I think we can build something. I don't remember. Establish a colony. So you have full survey, blah blah blah. 125 hazard. Okay. Um, so we have 75 accessibility. Now, orbital arrays, it increase food production by 2. That's really cool. But probably this already applies to this. The buff already applies. Vast ruins, cities, factories, mines, farms, homes. The dead are in dread abundance, entwined and salvageable materials, goods, tools, and weapons. The world is a tomb for the hubris of the domain's project of galactic colonization of and hegemony. Okay, it's cold and human habitable. Human beings can survive unprotected exposure to the surface conditions of. Okay, okay, that's good. I am happy with this. So this goes with minus 25. That's a buff. Uh, Consider other factors. So the nearest cryo sleeper is located in, okay, 39 light years away. The maximum range at which sleepers can be safely brought over is 10. Okay, so we cannot get that buff from the sleepers. Hmm, weird that it shows that one and doesn't show the. I didn't activate the. Okay, okay, I see. Yeah, we need to rebuild that other thing, uh, the coronal thing near the sun that we fought the first boss. Anyway, establish colony. We're gonna rename you. This is going. Let's think of a cool name. Well, what about Rome? Because Rome wasn't built in a day. Mm, okay, we can also generate a name if we want. Confirm. Now that you have planet-based or otherwise static assets, you'll need to set up your faction's name and flag. You can always change this later by clicking on your faction's name in the colony screen. Continue. So our faction name shall be named. hmm, I don't know. Let's say Legion. Sounds weird, but sounds cool. So the Legion, or no, just Legion. Uh, Legion is a, and this is cool. And we can go like this. Oops. So, okay. And we can change our flag. These are custom flags. Which one do we like? Oh, they added more. Didn't notice that. Let's go with this one. Okie dokie. And now, first things first, we have to look at a few things. We have our ground defenses is 24, which is not great. Our stability is 3, which is also not great. The colony stability is a measure of strength of the local government and its ability to effectively master and leverage the resources of the colony. A more stable colony produces larger fleets with well-maintained ships. A stable colony is also more resistant to raids and invasions and has less black market activity. A colony that's unstable for too long runs of the risk of becoming decivilized. Stability 3, so we have -2 decivilized subpopulation. But as I said, that is a buff because it helps us to boost our population. As you can see, it has plus free population growth, which we do want this. There are ways to remove it, but in the grand scheme of things, this is not gonna matter. -2 stability. We're gonna fix that. So the problem right now is food shortages, which we're gonna fix in a moment. No active com relay in system. We're gonna fix that as well. Okay. We can also abandon it if we want to get rid of this decivilized population thing, but don't do that. So first things first, we're gonna build a spaceport, which costs us nothing, and always go for hazard pay. It's gonna go into the minus, into the negative, because this will increase our population growth. As you can see now, it's minus 0.3, but now we have 3%, and that's all right. We're gonna take in we've taken this into account, and it's gonna cost us to build in more stuff, but for now, another thing, activate this. Use stockpile use determines whether the commodity stockpiled in local resources can be used to counter shortages. Resources that have been dropped off at a colony do not incur a cost when used to counter shortages, while resources stockpiled locally incur a cost equal to a fraction of their base value. Using what's available in the stockpile to counter any current shortages would have an estimated cost of 0% for now. So we want this enabled because we don't want it. We want stability, and in order to have stability, we need to have constant things here. So if we're gonna put resources here, it's not gonna cost us anything because we're just gonna, well, first of all, we also have the storage, which for now I'm going to stockpile these things. But we want to go confirm, and we want to put here the food. This, let's give them 100 for now. Let's give them, oh, that's too much. Something like this. Give them this. Sort, confirm, sort. And now let's look at what we have. Although maybe I've given them too much. We have to see what we require. Let me get 200 back. What we require to make something. So if we look at our colony now, stability is at 6. So we need a com relay in the system. We're gonna go do that in a moment. We have no issues with the food and everything domestic is sorted. We're gonna have this free port. So this also improves on our growth rate. So free port has reduced stability, but increases accessibility. It's also benefits from gradually increasing population growth as its reputation spreads. Its free port status is revoked. The bonus population growth will be reset to its starting value on exiting the screen. Unlike normal markets, a free port gets income from smuggled exports. Requires a fully constructed spaceport. But this is not true. You don't need to create the spaceport. You just need to wait one day after you start building it and it will be okay. Now we're paying quite a lot here because industry and structure on keep. Shortage countering. Well, for now, they're requiring some of these recreational drugs, but we can go and bring some. That's not a problem. And we're going to create drugs here because this one demands effect, but we can use the light industry to create it. And we're gonna focus on light industry pretty soon, but we have to also focus on defenses. But you can only build one thing at a time, but you can upgrade all of them at the same time, which is a bit weird, but anyway. So, what else do we have here? We can refit and repair our ships and whatever. Doc, we can also have a bar if we want. Find out, and we can get missions and people here to come and. So it's something cool. What's this? Hostile activity, colony impact minimal. Well, does this show? Oh, in Intel. In somewhere. Oh, so this is a new system. I haven't seen this one before. And what does this imply? Various hostile forces are threatening your colony. That's cool. Usually before they were just sending raids and stuff. If left unchecked, your hardest hit colonies will have to devote more resources to defensive measures, reducing their stability and accessibility. So danger low, primary threats pirates. We're friends with the pirates at the moment. Monthly facts, military infrastructure, pirate activity, colonies presence and stability, hostile ships destroyed. So what impacts this? Event progress 0 out of 500, projected monthly, plus 13 points. Event progress is influenced by various factors. Some of these apply over time and some only apply once. As the event progresses, different stages and outcomes may unfold. So at first one, we have low impact. Colony stability is reduced by 1, accessibility reduced by 10%. Effects in one of your hardest hit star systems, or in at least 25% of your star system, whichever is higher, requires 50 points of event progress. I'm kind of confused. Is this going to... But how do I counter it? By destroying them, it goes back? Probably if we leave this, if we don't babysit enough, if this goes to this, sometimes something might occur when event progress reaches 500 points. What that is, if anything, will be determined when event progress reaches 450 points. This event is repeatable, which is weird and crazy and fun. Extreme impact. Colony stability is reduced by 4. Accessibility reduced by 40%. All of your colonies are affected. Requires 350. But yeah, but how do I counter this? Interesting. Any colonies, especially... yeah, we'll have to be careful with this. I still don't know. Warning beacons. Where does this come into? Maybe into major events? Yeah, here. Cool, 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 cool. I didn't know about this. That's cool. This game is always improving. That's what I love. And every time I play after some many months or years, I mean, once a year or something like that, every time I find new cool things. This is why I love supporting developing games that are early access, but I know that everybody says good things about it, and I see the results, and I don't just blindly jump into it. Another game like this that I support is Spaceborne 2 and Space Heaven. These two are super amazing. And Zomboid, but that's not a space game. But still, in terms of early access. Anyway, anyway, anyway. So we have done this. We need to go over. We have explored everything, right? Yes. We're gonna go over here. Wait, I said a navigation or what was it? getting? Com relay. Com relay. So in order to see this, I think we press command colonies, and we can see the colony directly like this from anywhere, I think. Oops, I need to repair. Okay. Okay, we'll repair. Probably it's gonna be a makeshift relay. But I'm not sure exactly what resources we need for that. Just stay there dormant. Don't bother getting up. So makeshift com relay. Ah, okay. So I need 30 of this and 5 of this. Good, 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 good. And for a sensor array, 30 and 5, and a buoy. Ah, all of them require 35. If they were domain, they would have given us an extra bonus, but since we only have one domain, I think. Ah, well, I don't want to go there. Ah, well, you know what I want to do. Let's go. Oh, hello there. He's a pilgrim. Okay, okay. No problemo, cavaliero. Although I don't know if that's good or bad. Let's check. If you see like some other icons here with the cells and everything, start panicking. uh, because early on is pretty bad. But I think we have like the game holds our hand for a while until we can start developing. It gives us a bit of protection. So I need 5 of this and 20 of this or something. 30, I don't remember. Oh, 30 of this and I don't remember. Let's just take 30 and 30. We'll bring them back, I promise. Our first colony. That's so cool. That is so cool, cool, cool. This should not pose a problem. Com relay? Yeah. Now, uh, the com relay is gonna give one stability for same faction colonies in the system, which is really cool. So now if we look at our colony, papam, 8. Super duper awesome. We're almost at 10. We're just missing 2 because of this, but that's obviously not a problem for us. And there are ways to boost this. That's actually, let's boost that right now. We're gonna right now we are the active administrator, but we do not have this, and this gives us +1 to or more to unit of all commodities in their produce. Okay, so I'm gonna just choose any of these are okay. They're all the same, and right now this guy doesn't give the buff we're giving because when we are administrator we're getting 2 from us. That's all right. We don't need to, or we could be, well, for now let's just keep it under us, and we'll change it when we're having a production here. So this will help us with increasing as you can see, we can activate the free port, which goes to 5% but goes to -1, so 7 in this case, but the building is not yet done, so it's good. We're also paying less. We're gonna have to get some of these recreational drugs here later on. Why do I need to install a comp sniffer? That's crazy. Actually, I think we need to go and... Yeah, I think this one... Is it ours? It says Legion, but... Let's make sure. Oh, go there. Go there and check that. Oh, I hope you guys don't snitch it from me. Break it for salvage. No, thank you. Is it domain? Yeah, it's domain era technology. Perfect. So we have free burn in here, but I think 20 is the maximum. I think, I'm not sure. Anyway, let's go back to Rome, to our housey, and give back what we took. And we're gonna give you back this. And that's about it. I think I'm gonna put in storage all of some of these ships at least. 55 ordnance. Well, whatever. I don't care. We don't need you anymore. We don't need you. We can auto assign our officers. And yeah, you're free. Oh. I didn't notice this. We're having too many people. So putting them here, it's gonna help with the task force and increase the population, by the way. We can also, I mean, this affects it to some degree, but not that much. So right now it's looking okay, 7.6%, 7 almost. Yeah, I like how things are going. Okay, we can make improvements. Making improvements gives us, we can use story points, but each time we use an improvement, and I think there are like 4 improvements or something like that, it doubles this amount. So right now it's 2 story points. What I recommend is infuse it with this to increase stability for one, but we can also install items here. And I forgot which items go into the port. We can assign an AI core if we wish, but we won't do that from the beginning because that's suicidal. We can also install an item here, but I usually don't know which ones they are. We can also upgrade to Megaport, which you're going to do right now. And it's gonna cost us some cash, that's not a problem. And now we can add an industry or a structure. So, first thing we need is farming. Farming is essential, we just need the food. We're gonna build this. And let's see, I think we need to have them in our inventory. And now let's see, install item not here, install item not here. So they install in something, but I don't know in what. So if we're going to make improvements here, it's going to increase accessibility by 20%, which we do want. So we're gonna confirm this. And we want to make an improvement over here and increase stability by 1. Perfect. And this counters the free port, which you're always going to use. Never turn this off. At one point, hazard, this is going to turn into a positive when we're starting to produce enough to sustain the colony and even make a profit upon it. And then we can disable hazard pay. Right now, if we disabled it, we are creating credits, but we're not increasing our growth. So leave the growth, it's more important. And we're not paying all that much. What else can we do here? We can also, I think we can only improve it once. Maybe more, I don't remember. I know that, where was it? It does tell you somewhere. I don't remember. Somewhere, like when you're improving your stability, it goes to something. I can't remember what it is. I know there is like a level population something, colony level. Let's see, maybe here. Size. maybe size. Where is the size? Oh, maybe population thousands. Oh, colony size over here. Yeah, so the colony I think can go up to 6. Yeah, reasonable time is 6, and around after 4 or 5 it starts producing a good amount of profit. So right now the colony size is approximate measure of the population level. A colony one size larger has many times the population. Post collapse, taking easy access to both population and resources, the maximum size of the colony reach in a reasonable time is 6. Thousands of people call Rome home. Colony size determines the base income and upkeep from all industries and structures, and the base production level for industries like farming and mining. It also affects strength and number of patrols and military fleets launched by the colony. So we don't need to manage the defenses. The defenses are managed automatically. As you can see, it already has. This is our smuggler. That's cool. Um, Good. So I don't know. What should we do? I think we need to go and get them some recreational drugs. Just so they, because we're not producing any at the moment. And as we can see, where is it? Right now, I think, what does it says the demand? So this is, I think these are what we have inside, or I think these are imports. Yeah, I think these are imports because right now we're not producing anything. And these are needed to create the patrols, and the rest is for the population. Okay, here are the demands. Yeah, so we need actually fuel. Interesting. Right now we're going to provide the recreational drugs. Excuse me, because we left enough in here to last them for a while. Oh, the supplies are almost gone. Interesting, but they will do on their own. That's not a problem. Oh no, that or am I? Ah, sorry. I keep pressing the wrong things. Can I see what you have in the inventory? No, well, whatever. Whatever. They're gonna manage. I know they're gonna manage. They're big boys and girls and colonists. Okay. Things are going okay. These guys are passive. They're not attacking, which is very important. Am I consuming one? Two, four. This should be 0.2. Yeah, well, whatever. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. So we need to get the recreational drugs. Yeah, so it's gonna take a little time for them to mature. And they're gonna do that on their own, but we need to keep an eye on them and make sure that um, pirates are not creating any mischief, and we're gonna get some information here and there. What are you guys unidentified? Might be. Why did I jump here though? Interesting. What I think about the game is a bit shaky is the fact that you can progress very fast in this game and be unprepared because you don't have enough money. So there is an abundance of way of getting ships and whatever you want, but if you're not gonna create a sustainable way, you're going to find yourself very fast in the negative side of the income, which is gonna be very problematic. Why did I take them with me? I should have left them there. But we're going back. Um, Although interestingly, I don't think we can buy ship parts. I don't remember seeing them for as a commodity. No, I don't think there are. Ouch. What am I doing? Oh shush. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Interesting thing. Sometimes you get this analyze domain era survey ships. So this is here, but some other times they're in exploration. So if you're gonna look at my exploration screen, there's a lot of stuff that, well, most of these are just information, debris field, like plentiful volatile location. Um, but then you have like blueprints and habitable world. This is a quest, whatever. And these are pirates, these are the Rudic path. But from time to time, you get like analyze a derelict ship, not a domain era. And usually, I'm not sure if they generate them, but I think they do, some of them. And for example, if you would have like go and investigate a derelict ship, depends on the faction also. I think the ship is generated based on which faction gives it to you. Um, because I took this when Tritakion gave it and I found a Doom, but whatever. And if you're gonna go into a system like, for example, this one, and it generates here, all of these three are gonna be on the same ship. Or, I mean, there is a big chance they might be on that ship. It's not guaranteed. But sometimes I found like derelicts that had this thing on them. And that simplifies your work so much because you don't have to look all around. Because if you look at this, it says can be found somewhere where you have no idea. And they can all three be on the same spot or not. But usually, if it's with one of these investigate these derelict ships or domain era probe or whatever it's gonna be generated there, it's a big chance that you might find it on all three in the same spot. So that's one way to get these things fast. And in order to get this, go into bars and just thank people that give you drinks, free drinks. And then they're gonna just give you a tip that they know the location of a blueprint if you're just gonna give them a nice donation. And depending on what type of blueprint, it's gonna be a hefty price. Okay. But again, that's not the only way to acquire blueprints. Also, there is a vendor, a specific vendor in vanilla, but I have deactivated it, that sells you all of the blueprints, and there is another one that sells you all of the ships in the game. If you find it's rare, the encounter is very rare, but when you find him, you can also develop this at the contacts. So if you have a good contact, like in my case, important, like this guy. He's high. I don't know if they generate very high. Only in the story, after you finish the quest, you get some very high ones. But to be honest, I think the bonuses from high to very high are small, so you're not losing too much. Um, but with this guy, if you do a lot of first of all, you have to enable priority contact on him and only on him, only one contact at a time, because if you're gonna spread it on multiple contacts, this value is going to diminish. So always use only one, in my opinion. And when you do like 4 or 5 quests for him, then he will give you like a very good quest, like go hunt somebody with, and he's gonna give you like 600,000 credits, or he's gonna sell you some really cheap stuff that's very expensive on the market, or like a very good thing. And sometimes he gives you the location of blueprints, or um, if you don't have disabled like how I did the options to buy everything in the game from the vendors, he might give you this option to buy it directly from them. but you have to have a high stance with him personally and with the faction. Well, not necessarily with the faction, but with him personally. And when you're at 100 and you do quite a few missions for him, he's gonna give you one of those things where you can buy everything directly from him at a higher price, obviously. But I think that, as I said many times, it detracts from the experience. And if you run like it feels unbalanced, because if you buy everything too fast, then it becomes too monotonous. And if you try to find everything one by one, it's gonna become a bit tedious. So you have to kind of find the balance there. And this is why I try to make the colonies now before we start the Galatia quest, so we have something to do in the meantime. Because after that, it's just gonna be like, go babysit, go fight this, go collect items, and it's kind of like meh. There's nothing important. Maybe some specific quests related to your colony will be cool, but as I said, the game is in development, so everything is possible. Ooh, this is a gas giant, so we can jump directly on it. That's cool. If we can put a base over here. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. So these guys are getting stuff. I'm also gonna give you this stuff. And let's put these things in here. I think this goes install in commerce. Oh, it does tell me where to install it. In Grand Defense Heavy Batteries. Install requires habitable, which we do have, and install in light industry, in heavy industry, or orbital works. We don't have that. So, but we're gonna leave it here for now. Maybe we can develop, or let's see. Can we create something like that? Orbital station. We definitely want this. This will go into the ruins and can get us something interesting. But after a while, the ruins will run out and we'll have to uninstall it. And this is considered industry. And you can disable this later on. That's not a problem. We'll want light industry. And for light industry, we will demand. We have a way station. We'll have to build that as well. Planetary shield, we got that from our crazy thing. Patrol headquarter. We'll want one of these. There's so many things, but I think there is a limit to how much you can build. So we can't build absolutely everything. We're gonna build a mine. We're definitely gonna build a mine and a light industry, and these two are gonna sustain each other. Um, yeah, yeah. This produces organics, and this needs organics, and this needs recreational drugs, and this produces recreational drugs. Good, good, good. Perfect. Um, but now this is the most important thing. We need the food, because food is very necessary for sustainability. We are already getting the free port, which is doing its job. I suppose when the colony grows one more to 4 or something like that, we can improve it even more. I don't know. We shall see. Um, what should we do? I'm really kind of lost. I think we're gonna leave it here with the colony, and we're gonna go and start our quest here. And let's see what our quest is. Our quest. So talk to the provost, and that's it. Yeah. Well, let's go talk to the provost. Just to get the quest started, then I'll stop over here. And because I still have to make some preparation for some encounters. I mean, we're kind of prepared, but it never hurts to have everything ready. And we're going to need a fleet. Maybe we're going to install a fleet over there in our uh, like we go there and we collect our fleet and we fight directly in the system if we need to. Let's save. So let's see what we have to do here. Oh no. Take the shuttle to meet with the Provost Bayard. You find the Junior Academy agent pacing in the landing bay reception lounge. As soon as you enter, they spot you with a look of relief and walk quickly to meet you. Captain, thank you for coming. The Provost will see you immediately. If you would just follow me this way. Thank you. Follow. The junior agent leads you through a series of back hallways and secure lifts toward the administrative suite occupied by Provost Baird at the core of the station. You are led past diamond matrix windows through which you can see visitors with the curving internal canyons of Galatia Academy Station. The light dims and your approach in the front waiting room of the office of the provost. It is filled with. Oh, I think we read this. Enter the inner office. Ah, Captain Callisto, Provost and Baird says, taps something away at the desk interface and turns to address you. I am pleased that you have come to meet me and for all your work you have done for my project already. She lowers her head just a degree. You didn't think I'd be wasting your time with make work, did you? She considers this for a moment. Well, there was some noise had to be introduced to the system to ensure that outside observers would not immediately identify you as my agent. Also, the historian says that Bayard is like a wolf that's leading the sheep, and that the hegemony has done a huge mistake installing her in power. But we shall see. I mean, the historian worked for the hegemony and was a teacher of the Galatia Academy, so he kind of knows the provost, the current provost, and he has like his own view upon it. But it's just like really cool things to just deepen the plot and the character arcs are so well defined. You guys will like it. Which brings us to the subject I wish to discuss. Please make yourself comfortable. Braid motions to a set of seats around the table, carved from the root structure of some great tree, hand carved by the looks of it, the work of ludic artisans. They do fine work, she says, whatever their misplaced devotion. She claps her hands together, turning to business. You've proven you can be trusted, so now I ask you to take a more active role in my great work. And what is the great work? Saving the Persian sector. She is content to let the words hang in the air for a moment. I don't ask that you like me, and I won't make a sanctimonious appeal to emotion. What I ask is that you recognize rationally that I am pursuing a course of action unburdened by factional demands. Indeed, this will be the foremost effort to ensure the survival of our civilization from utter collapse. We will not be saved by a retreat to homesteads on fragile balls of rock, nor by an arms race which throws precious resources into the fires of interfactional squabbling. We have to reach beyond the known, develop theories that start all that has come before, then applying radical new technologies to ensure our survival. We must reach further and higher than the domain ever dared. As she speaks, she raises her eyes up towards some abstraction. This, you think, is something she believes in. Um, Basically, how the domain operated was that when they created these huge gates, the dormant gates that are inactive right now, they were meant to connect all of these worlds, because everything we explore outside of the core worlds, of the core sectors, was belonging to the domain before the collapse after the two AI wars that were generated with the help of the Tachyon for some reason. Anyway, the point is that the domain was kind of not too far from what the Sindrian diktat is. They were very authoritarian, and they developed these gates to make the colonies be dependent by the domain. And in the core, most of the most of some of not most, but the industries that were developed around the whole domain of man, the entire empire, were meant to be kind of redundant in the sense that no colony could sustain itself directly, and it would be necessary to communicate with each other and to do trade and use the big gates. And if the domain considered that an uprising was coming in one of the colonies, they would just shut the gate and the colony would be isolated and they would be at the mercy of the domain. So it was kind of scummy, but it was the way they would control any colony to not take power for themselves. But after the collapse, they were kind of forced to develop technologies to kind of sustain themselves, and they're not doing it efficiently, but they're hanging. And she brought to the point that inevitably the factions are already fighting internally between each other, but this will eventually bring to an inner collapse of the sector without the help of the AI, if they do not find a way to collaborate and keep peace and reunite the entire what's left of the domain. But right now it's a power struggle between, because the Sindrian diktat wants to be what the domain was. The hegemony was part of the military group that overtook what was left of the domain, and they kind of want to take things in another direction. Then the Tritakion has its own plans. Then, yeah, it's interesting. It's a very complex geopolitical system, let's call it, and it's becoming more and more nuanced as with each update. So I like it. I like it how it's developing, and it's very good for role playing. I think there should be more options in choices and how you shape up the world, because right now the thing is, if you are going to go around and just bombard and terrorize the sectors, they're just gonna fall so easily. They're not gonna be able to resist. You just need to chip away slowly, and if you destroy their major, uh, because this is true, they have specific planets in sectors that are the base of the industrial production. So, for example, if you stop a colony that produces food in abundance, other colonies are going to start to become hungry. And in a way, you can use that to your advantage, and you can sabotage some colonies, but not to the point where they become decivilized. And you can become the owner, well, not the owner, you can not you can become sort of like the monopoly over an industry, because people will come to you if that industry is not producing enough, one of the core industries. So food, for example, if not enough food is produced in one of the core systems, they come to you, they buy from you, you earn, and so on and so forth. But there's a lot of factors to be considered, and you can also go into one of these core sectors, eradicate them, decivilize them completely, and move in and colonize their planets. So you can play it however you wish, but I think that's a bit unbalanced, and that pushes like, what's the point of just destroying the entire human well, what's left of the humanity and build your own empire under your rule, and then you're just left with fighting what? AI and pirates and the Ludic Path, which generates infinitely. There is no interaction. There are no other quests. It's kind of, I don't know. Enough rambling. Okay, tell me more. Your task will not be so simple from here on out. I expect you to self adapt to circumstances in pursuit of the objectives I lay out. And she pauses for a moment, considering before continuing in a tone colder than before. No matter what you have to do, as long as you pursue the mission goal, I will see that you are rewarded. Securing the future is worth everything. What do you need done? My predecessor, Provost Thomas Calicor, led a series of misguided hyperspace manipulation experiments. How to put it in layman's terms? Braid looks troubled to have to do this. Sighs, then speaks. Captain, your ships fly through hyperspace with special engines. The gate network of the domain was similar, but also very different. Calicor thought there might be a way to use Starship hyperdrives to reopen the gates. Obviously, it went terribly wrong, and the Galatia system was cut off from hyperspace when the jump points were disrupted beyond usability. Though we hear some Yahoo found a way to cross unstable jump points, an act well beyond irresponsible considering the chance of cascading a resonance event. I apologize. This is irrelevant. So they kind of wanted to shortcut the bigger gates with the smaller jump points, but that didn't work out. What matters is that once the mess was finally cleared up, the hegemony descended from the Galatia Academy with a technological inspection fleet. They tore the place apart, arrested the heads of the hyperphysics department and several labs, and of course, took Provost Calicor in for questioning. She turns away, and with little delay, sentencing. He was a fool and too trusting, Bayard says with contempt. We lost good people and good research. Scientific breakthroughs are built on the development of theory and, yes, even negative results, which is true. I needed to recover Calicor's secret archive. We need his data from that experiment and all the others that led up to it. The hegemony will have kept it. They keep everything evidence. You see. We shall also need academician Sila Corosiu. Corosiu. Okay, she was a hyperspace physics researcher, the keystone of the theory team behind the jump point experiments. The hegemony, small minded as they are, only arrested team leaders in the first sweep. They didn't understand that the underlying theory being tested was lately written by one particular academician who was not suitable for leadership. I need you to find her. How can I get Calicor archive from the hegemony? Follow the aftermath of the Galaxy experiment. The hegemony technological inspection seized everything, all the records and data. The most direct approach would be to get access to the data vaults of the Ministry of Technology standards. There, who you might call the AI inspectors, serving. The AI inspectors are going to give us some trouble later on. Serving that, among other roles, not trivial, she looks amused, but it must be done before. I do not have an old. I do have an old acquaintance who has been rising quickly in the Tritakion executive ladder. His name is Rayan Arroyo, based out on of Echo Press. He may be compelled to assist us with a human asset on this front. I'll forward you the contact information. She taps for a moment on her desk interface. So I received the com ID. Let us say that his future career opportunities are on the line. Mention me. If you are firm but discreet, I believe you will find him more than willing to assist. Ooh. Okay, Arroyo, got it. Or we can blackmail him, of course. He compromised corporate security to advance his career over a rival. He understands that the value of the deal he made with me. She almost smiles. You will find him quite cooperative once you get past his inflated sense of self-importance. Do you have any leads on Chorus? Chorus? I don't know. On Sila. As for the prodigy of Galatia, Brit trails off. Is that regret? She quickly disappears. Oh, she quickly disappears. Okay. Ah, okay. So the looks quickly disappears. I can't read at this moment. Continue. Uh, Cor- Corius. Cory, let's call her Cory, was always an odd fit. Brilliant, yes, but she had a way of being distracted with involvement in astro. No, an- antagonistic subcultures. Bayard waves a hand, dismissing the matter as sociological fluff. Perhaps the hegemony crackdown cured her of that childish affection. Her family and presumably friends, you wonder for a moment if Braid has any of those, are from Fickenhild in the Westerners system. You could start there. Okay, that's a lead. Baird thinks for a moment. If you are observed looking for Cory, you may be contacted by others who are looking for her. That could be useful. You could cut a deal, get some leads. Alternatively, her department was operating experimental packages in the Braddock system. We have detected some ongoing telemetry that suggests these instruments are still in use, though it isn't clear by whom. She taps her desk interface. I've sent you the coordinates. The provost looks at you over her spectacles. How do you want to handle this, Captain? Are you a diplomat or an explorer? Do you want to find the probes in the Braddock system or talk your way through the whatever place that is? I'm gonna go the diplomatic path because the exploration is just go there, do that, blah blah. It's not as interesting as the diplomatic path. Bear notes. I thought so. There's no problem. You don't believe you can talk your way through, is there? If you want to change your approach, you must let me know so that I can ensure you have all the information you require. So, if we fail, because there are ways to fail, we can come back and do the other way. But we'll take it slow. Um, when you will find the Cory, I expect her to be unwilling to cooperate. I have provided you with an encrypted message. It is an personal appeal from myself to her. It should prove persuasive. It sure will. Indeed, says Baird, looking at you closely. Her trepidation is a rational response to previous events. The investigation arrests the show trial of Calicor, but conditions have changed and she is needed if we are to escape from stagnant local maxima. Baird turns to the window. I will call Cory will answer. She says a proclamation. Continue. Find Calicor archive, find Cory. Once you have accomplished both of these missions, the project can proceed to the next phase. Baird smiles, and that's when things get exciting. So that's all. She turns to her desk display and starts inputting a command sequence. Done with you for now. Good day, Captain. She says without looking up. You may check in with me via comms for additional analysis as the operations develops, though I expect you to use your initiative. And I've reauthorized Academician Sebastian with mission assignment access for your file. Carrying out his little jobs might be a good cover for your real work and allow us to funnel additional credits to you. You feel the subtle movement of air as the door opens silently behind you. Mirror masked guards flank a junior agent who waits to escort you back to your shuttle. Mm, okay, so we can still do some missions if we want, but they're not gonna. Well, welcome back, Captain. It's good to see you again, Sebastian says cheerfully. Inquire available jobs, so we can go retrieve data ruins from gun, ask about imprisoned researcher, transport a scientist research outpost to Bascule, ask about the VIP transport. So kind of general stuff. You can do this, but if you really need money in the beginning, the credits. But we have plenty, and although they're good, they're kind of unique. They're not extremely repetitive. Some of them. Uh, what else? They give you a good amount of credits, and it kind of forces you to explore. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I highly recommend you start doing this if you're gonna start with these quests directly, and I highly encourage you to do that. Unlike me, because I've done it this way, so we can grapple the full benefits of what's gonna come through various encounters and so on. But that's by the by, and you can play this game however you wish. But as a first time player, do start this way. I'm gonna leave it like so. Let's see where we have to go first. I recommend that we do with the archive and then with finding Cory, because Cory is gonna be a bit lengthier than the archives. The archives are not that complicated, but they're fun. Both missions are extremely fun. So it's cool that you've given this branching path of solving things. Some of the things you can solve in other ways. It's the game doesn't tell you what to do. It kind of leaves it to your imagination, and it's a bit like D&D, like you 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 can, it's your imagination that can find certain ways to solve a problem. Maybe a bit like in how Elder Scrolls work. Sometimes the quest tells you to do a thing, it gives you like three options, but there's a fourth or fifth hidden option that's not told to you. So something that kind of applies here as well. Anyway, enough rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. We have our very first. Oh, we're still losing things here. That's interesting because of the free port. Well, but we have 10% growth, so that's good. Um, but that's not a problem. We're gonna deal with this later on because there are some ways to counter this stability. Uh, that's not a big problem. 23 days left. Good, 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 good. I am happy. I am super happy. We're gonna invest a lot of story points in here. It's gonna be extremely awesome. You guys stay awesome as well, because you're always awesome. And I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye, 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 bye.